My question is to the Minister for Housing. How is the Albanese Labor government working in partnership with the states, territories and housing providers to help Australians find a safe and affordable place to call home, and what is blocking further progress?
Give the call to the Minister for Housing, the Minister for Homelessness and the Minister for Small Business. The member for Deakin.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. And I want to thank the member for Gilmore for her question. And I know that she understands the full scale of the challenges in housing that we inherited from the former government. The former government over there allowed the housing challenges to grow under their watch. They didn't do enough.
Order.
And the Albanese Labor government is trying to turn it around, Mr Speaker. We're elected with an ambitious housing agenda and we've added to it at every opportunity. Indeed, while those opposite blame the states and territories for the housing concerns, we have been working with them. Indeed, while they ignored the growing number of renters, we've acted. We've boosted Commonwealth rent assistance, we've incentivised build-to-rent, and indeed we're working with the states and territories on renters' rights. But whilst they turn their back on social housing in the states and territories, we're funding it. And we've recently done that with our $2 billion social housing accelerator, Mr Speaker. And indeed, the Minister for New South Wales said at the time it will help to immediately accelerate the delivery of more homes for the people of New South Wales. In the next 2 weeks, we will receive this vital funding to help us rebuild our social housing system and support some of our most vulnerable, Mr Speaker. But whilst those opposite, they just can't seem to shake off the habits that they had when they did robo-debt, Mr Speaker. Indeed, their indifference is allowing Australians in need to stay on public housing waiting lists. But we are acting. They should be listening, Mr Speaker. They should be listening to the thousands of Australians who are waiting for homes right across the country today. And if they did, they would not be standing in the way of the Housing Australia Future Fund bill. Indeed, if they had a heart, they would be listening to those struggling with housing. They would be listening carefully. They would not be voting against the thousands of new social and affordable rental homes. They're blocking homes for people that need them most when we want to build them, Mr Speaker. Blocking homes for people when we want to build them. And if they listen to the housing experts, to the sector, to those working on the front line, who all say we need the homes that this fund would build, they would not be blocking it. They need to listen to people like the ACT Shelter CEO, who today called for the fund to pass, who said there are projects right now in the ACT and in the other states that money could be financing or assisting to finance that are now on hold, Mr Speaker. And the Housing Industry Association, who said, and I quote, "The Housing Australia Future Fund bill does place important mechanisms to invest more in social housing, Mr Speaker, right across the board, whether it be the states and territories, whether it be the building sector, the construction sector, whether it be the community housing sector, or whether it be organisations supporting homeless people on the ground. They all want this bill to pass the House, Mr Speaker. They all want the funds to flow to get these homes on the ground. So I say to those opposite and to the Greens, get on board, let's build more homes.